Hi, I am so excited to have you here today. Today, we're going to talk about what does the energy of 2023 offer you? Is this the year that is going to be, you're going to finally receive the big promotion to be seen for all the amazing things you do? Is the energy of 2023 supporting your next big adventure? Is it the year that you should be starting a big business? Is this the year you should be sitting down with your people and figuring out the best way to strategize and plan your next big move? We're going to talk about that, what the energy of 2023 has to offer as we transition into the new year, according to the Lunar New Year on January 22nd. I am Kendra Gardner, an architect, designer, and feng shui expert. I am the founder of Energetic Spaces, and at Energetic Spaces, we actually use the information like your nine-star key astrology, what does the energy hold, what's your element, to help create holistic spaces that are designed and curated to support you in manifesting the life of your dreams. So today's video, we're going to talk about what does the energy of 2023 offer in general and what it might be offering and supporting you do this year. So as we transition into 2023, I just want to kind of go over. So when we talk about the energy of 2023, I'm going to talk about when the Lunar New Year hits, because that's when it affects us with dealing with most schools of feng shui when we talk about the year. Yes, the calendar year falls on January 1st, but the Lunar New Year fluctuates because obviously it goes with the whole lunar year and it can fluctuate anywhere in January to the early February. So depending on how you look at the chart, they often will tell you if you're born in January, you're usually the year before, because we haven't transitioned yet into the new year. But the thing that's actually kind of interesting between the calendar new year and often between the lunar new year is you can start to feel the shift of the energy. You can start to feel that things are starting to change. So 2023, as you 2020 was the year of the rat. And that was about survival. And I think we all universally can say there was a lot of need kind of deal with survival and getting through. So then the year 2021 was the year of the ox. And that was about anchoring ourselves and anchoring ourselves in the new reality, which a lot of us had to do. There was definitely changes. We're still kind of working with whatever levels of the way COVID, the pandemic was still affecting us and affecting our work, affecting our life, depending on where and what you were doing, what your family members were going through. We were still in a much bit of a transition. So last year, 2022, was the year of the tiger. And that was about big changes. And it was a year about risk taking, adventure, and you kind of felt it, especially towards the second half of 2022. A lot of people started kind of coming out. People started traveling, actually to the point that the travel industry wasn't prepared for the level of travel that was going on. People were ready to get back out. They were ready to, reconnect. They're kind of fired up. They're ready for a change. They're ready for the progress and to be social again. And that's what you started feeling towards the end of 2022. There was a lot more upheaval. There was a lot more risk taking behind adventure and behavior coming stronger. And if people who were very much risk takers, you definitely felt them kind of coming along and they really kind of rode the energy of the tiger. But the upcoming year, as I said, is the year of the rabbit. And the rabbit is a totally different energy and should be a little bit less dramatic, less tumultuous as the previous year of the tiger has been. So when we're talking about it, according to Chinese astrology, 2023 is the year of the rabbit. And the rabbit symbolizes patience and luck, which we all would love more of in our life, I am sure. So it is also assumed that the year of the rabbit, it suggests that there's going to be a lot more patience and thoughtful thinking. So risk takers are going to have to take a little beat to think about it and more careful and diligent about their thought process and what goes up. And with that being brought in with the luck, it is a year where you finally will see more success and peace, which is definitely what we probably all are craving. So during the year of the rabbit is likely there'll be less impulsiveness and there will a tendency to be much more realistic and practical and level-headed thinking going forward, which is probably what helps increase more people being lucky and more people having success. So it's great to think that there'll be a lot more thinking before you act, and it's kind of be just finally a little bit of a calmer year. So this year, as I said, is the year of the rabbit. It's the year of the water rabbit. And it's a lot of yin energy. So it deals with the symbols of like rain, the cold. It's often referred to as the year of the black rabbit because of the fact that it is the yin rabbit and you're talking about the five elements and how that relates back. So it's definitely going to have a different energy, and we're slowly transitioning depending on when you watch this video. And even when you transition into the new year, you still feel this, it slowly kind of changes in. So there'll be a few months before you really, really probably feel it, but you're going to feel there's going to be a little bit more calm. And I think we all will kind of appreciate that transition. So it's still good. It's still moving. It's still um, things kind of changing, but it's definitely going to be less tumultuous, which is definitely something we all welcome. And that's more of the Chinese astrology understanding of what's the year to bring and the zodiac. I'm not a Chinese astrology expert. I know enough to be dangerous. But according to what your animal is, will determine how lucky this year probably will be for you. I mean, it's going to be in general an energy to this year that is about success and patience. But depending on your energy, it'll be really, really fortuitous. This type of energy will be really good for you and you'll excel greatly. Other animals will feel it a little different, might have to be a little bit more cautious depending on your energy, but it's definitely going to shift. And if you look and study more into Chinese astrology, you can learn so much more. And if you're working with a Feng Shui expert who's really well versed in it, they could take you to another level on Chinese astrology and what to expect for 2023. Now, moving on to 9-star key astrology, which is if you do Feng Shui, you probably do touch into at least one of these types of astrology. Chinese key astrology, we're a different way of looking at it. So 9-star key astrology is much more why you're not going to hear me talk about animals. We're going to talk about the elements that the 9 stars and the rotation of 9. So for 9-star key astrology, this is considered a 4-wood year. So we're heading into a 4-wood year. And that means if you're born in this year, your principal element will be wood. Just like if you're born in 2023, you're born the year of the rabbit. If you're born in 2023, according to 9-star key astrology, you're born into a 4-wood year, which makes the principal number or the principal element 4 wood. And of course, that would be things that relate to you and how you relate to stuff that's happening this year. Now, talking about 9-star key astrology and the 4-wood element, I want to kind of talk about how that's going to relate to the year. So as we are transitioning into a 4-wood element year, we're coming out of a 5 earth year. And a 5 year is a very interesting year. A 5 year, it has the character or the symbol of chaos. So last year for many people was chaotic. So I was saying it's tumultuous when I was talking about the tiger, but it was chaotic in that sorts of the energy of it is about fluctuation. It's about chaos. And chaos chaos is basically saying there's change and it might not be organized, it might not be the way you want, but there's change, which is what we kind of needed. Things need to change, things need to move, there needs to be an upheaval and stuff that's happening. So what's coming as we transition to a 4-wood year is we're still going to see movement, we're still going to see things moving forward, but it's going to be much calmer. It's not going to be as tumultuous as last year. So we're coming out of chaos, we're going into still movement and progress and growth, but it's just a softer pace of it. The thing that's exciting about a 5 earth year is that everybody goes through a lot of changes and everybody's kind of in their own energy, literally back in their element. And so the energy is really exciting and dynamic. And it's something that only happens when it's a 5 earth year, but also the whole world is going through chaos. So in some ways it's wonderful for some people because they're back home in their element. So it does feel good, but everybody's back home in their element, which means the energy kind of gets higher, which kind of helps, I think, in some ways encourage a little bit of the chaos, big changes, big moves, because things could just kind of happen when you're in your element. So coming up on the Lunar New Year, we're going to be entering into a 4-wood year. So you also will be feeling a little bit of a calm, still growth, still movement, but it's definitely a calmer kind of movement, a kind of change. It's not going to be as chaotic as the last year has been.